What is up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. Let's get into some rapid fire news. Most importantly, the SEC has finally filed their first amended complaint against Ripple Labs, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson. We've been waiting for this. This is a whopping 79-page document. Keep in mind, this is a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. And if you want to read it yourselves, this is available on Twitter and also retweeted by XRP Crypto Wolf. Now, most importantly, before I give my stupid opinion on the matter, I'm going to wait and leave it to the professionals in the space and the lawyers and attorneys that are providing their expertise and insight on the matter. One of which would be Jeremy Hogan. You can follow him here on Twitter, Attorney Jeremy. He says that he will have a vlog tonight available and kind of give his commentary, the goods, the bads. Will settlement drag on? Will it be shortened? Things of that nature. And I really appreciate it. You can follow him here at Legal Briefs. And with my luck, he probably already uploaded the video. Let me do a quick refresh. So it should be coming soon. And if not, it'll be there tomorrow. So be sure to hit that bell icon. I will be watching that as well. And I just want to say, I doubt they watch these videos, but I'm grateful for these lawyers and attorneys such as Jeremy Hogan, John Deaton, Jesse Hines, and any others that are contributing to the space and shedding light on this matter for the XRP community. The community that lost arguably billions of dollars, or at least XRP did, in terms of market capitalization because the SEC has waited 8 years to do something like this. We all know that there's something much bigger going behind the scenes, and we'll just leave it at that. I largely believe that XRP, the digital asset, will be fine in the future. I believe this is about the non-compliant sales, just like many other crypto companies have been sued in the past, and then they're good to go. They get the green light and they moon. Same concept, or maybe the escrow amount and even the holdings of the executives. So the sooner we get clarity, the sooner that glass ceiling gets off XRP and we can finally rock it. Keep in mind, looking on the 4-hour, XRP in the US dollar chart, we are just getting ever closer to shoot up or shoot down. The move is coming. Ideally, I don't want us to replicate another move and come down to that 200 moving average and go back to 40 cents. If Bitcoin did pull back, that's where we'd be looking. But ideally, guys, if this SEC lawsuit wasn't here, I'd be looking at these higher fib extensions. I'd be looking at, the weekly view and hoping we shoot up sooner than later. And pardon all my pretty colors over here, but we even see that we have a golden cross coming up with the 50 and the 100 simple moving average ready to shoot up. Every other asset has been taking off. You can look at the RSI. We've seen them all pierce and pop. I'm simply just waiting for that. Of course, that's what I'm looking for. I am still 50% cash, 50% crypto in this market as just a simple hedge to buy any future dips. Personal decision. Yes, I'm aware that I have missed on a lot of opportunity, but rule number one of investing for me is wealth preservation. So that's just the way I operate, and I've learned that since 2017, 2018, the 2020 crash. And, when the dips finally come, sometimes people don't actually have money to buy the dip. So it's just a personal choice. And I have plenty of exposure in this market already. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Even just throwing little fib extensions on the micro and the weekly. We can do a daily time frame, usually do a 23-hour to get a little more insight. And I'm not really sure how valid this would be, but like AB, and obviously I do not want to come down to that 43-cent range or anything like that. I finally just want to get out of here. We are coiling up for a move. And I bet you, whether it's good or bad. So if there's good news that comes out or the price goes up, or if the price goes up, there's going to be good news that comes out. The narrative, that's how we make sense of things. It's like we're driving, looking through a rear view mirror and say, oh, that's why price went up. We validate it. If the price comes down, we're going to say, oh, it's because the SEC complaint and scared Ripple, something like that. Or it could just be a Bitcoin pullback. But by the way, Tether keeps printing. I'm quite bullish, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm quite bullish on a lot of the alts I'm looking at. We have to consider things that we're seeing across the market, such as Grayscale, subsidiary of Digital Currency Group. They made the largest Ethereum purchase buy this month on February 12th, with the digital asset manager purchasing over 52,000 Ethereum at $1,700 each. So they have vested interest, and just like even Monero, pumping, and it's getting into that DeFi trust, a lot of assets are in this space. Polkadot, ADA, things to consider. So I'm absolutely watching, and I'm excited for what's to come. Still zero doubt. Worst case scenario for me, and this is not financial advice, guys, please understand nothing's guaranteed and things can disappear forever. I just have seen too much, and I believe that XRP, the digital asset, will succeed in the long run. And I don't need to repeat the stats for you guys. You get the gist. All right. So today, just to refresh, we understand that we're approximately at that $1.6 trillion market capitalization. All eyes are going to be on Tether. You can look at the circulating supply here, 33.5. If you've been watching this channel even for just the past month, we've just been watching this number steadily climb as Bitcoin steadily climbs as well. So something to keep in mind. Now, not to scare you, just to simply inform you of different, situations. Right here, this was actually shared by Luca Land, and this is about the NYDIG. We've seen them before, and of course, the whole Tether situation, the $1 trillion lawsuit compared to Ripple's tiny little $1.3 billion lawsuit, is on the SEC's radar. I just think there's bigger things ahead. Not to be conspiratorial, but yes, this is still a concern of mine. I cannot ignore it. Maybe it won't happen for a long time, perhaps, but we still have to be informed of the risks of holding Tether or even trading in Tether. I know it's liquid. Yes, I actually trade in Tether when I have to. I just do not like holding Tether and holding big amounts and just waiting for a limit order. I'd much rather utilize USDC, which is a lot more fully regulated and connected to the people. And in terms of backing, it's quite clear that it is legitimate. But right here, prices of Bitcoin may be affected due to these stable coins. And remember, these stable coins, they're not stable coins. They're really just pegged coins because they're pegged to the value of fiat. So USDC, Tether, they're supposedly a 1-to-1 ratio to the US dollar. So it's a pegged coin. It's only as stable as the US dollar is itself. And of course, maybe now we'll get a push up with the stimulus checks for the US dollar per the chart, but keep in mind, long-term inflation is happening. So that's why a lot of people are looking for hedges in the precious metals market, in the crypto market, even in equities and even real estate. So everything is always finding equilibrium. Markets are simply swinging like a pendulum. So notice the activities of stablecoin issuers. This is on the SEC's website, so Tether is in fact on their radar. While the trust does not invest in stablecoins, it may nonetheless be exposed to these and other risks that stablecoins pose for the Bitcoin market through its trading in Bitcoin. Right here. In addition, some have argued that some stablecoins, particularly Tether, are improperly issued without sufficient backing in a way that could cause artificial rather than genuine demand for Bitcoin. We've been saying this on the channel for a year, thanks to a lot of great people in this ecosystem providing good information, but then also me doing my own research on the matter. Remember, Tether was originally backed more so just by US dollar. Then they started saying, oh, well, we can back it by crypto too. Oh, and now it almost looks like Tether's just backing itself. It's just this little circle, and not a good flywheel effect. It's a dangerous one. In bubbles, yeah, there's opportunity, but just please be safe, people. Could the market keep climbing for the next 6 months or all year? Yes, absolutely. And I would love nothing more than that. You guys know my views long-term in this market. We're going to keep going. 1.6 trillion is just the beginning, and I'm not going to be selling at a loss in the assets I'm in because they're all legitimate. And I, vet everything that I buy. So very, interesting. Keep in mind, the NYDIG is where Chris Larsen also custodies some XRP. So we're seeing all the connections, and we're going to keep an eye on this. So the New York Attorney General filed suit against Tether's operators, and this was back in 2019. So it's, been under wraps right now. Everybody's focused on Ripple, the tiny, tiny lawsuit that's essentially 1/1000th the size of Tether's lawsuit. So remember, sleight of hand trick. This is what, governments, countries, whatever, powers that be, I don't really care what you say, they do this all the time. Look at my left hand while I do this with my other hand. So all eyes on this. We're going to monitor this carefully. Please be safe and note the risks in this market. Overall, I did take a poll right here. What is your outlook on the altcoin prices 3 months from now? So 71% are actually bullish. They believe that all the altcoins typically, and I'm assuming this includes Ethereum as well. And I would just say Ethereum's, king of alts. So anything besides Bitcoin, and maybe Bitcoin will keep going too, but much higher than today. Others said trend sideways, 12%, 13% said bearish, and then others were just kind of commenting that they're in, equities and other markets as well, or had a different opinion. So nonetheless, I like taking polls and gauging this, and I know this is not necessarily the masses' opinion, which we want to get, but this is the opinion of maybe more so the XRP community, but crypto Twitter, all in all. So interesting, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, now I did retweet this on Twitter. If you guys are curious, you could literally just type in up here, Ripple Blockchain Report 2019 Flywheel Effect. This is what I refer to often because it is valid and still part of the roadmap for on-demand liquidity to be self-fulfilling. A flywheel, again, a perfect analogy for the adoption of blockchain, not just on-demand liquidity, but it surely applies. This is the powerful stuff that I understand. I look at the trends. I go through every Ripple Insights article. I read the sources and just understand the macro. When in doubt, zoom out. A simple 10% increase in digital payment adoption can bring 220 million people into the formal financial system. And of course, even above, we know that it's approximately 1.7 billion that are unbanked. And then also as much as 25% of adults in the US are essentially kind of considered unbanked, and they spend, very high fees and interest rates. Things are changing thanks to blockchain. Disintermediation is the term, getting rid of middlemen. Notice 70 million people in the US, unbanked or underbanked, I should say. and then estimated 1.7 billion globally outside of the financial system. So that's unbanked, excuse me. So completely outside of the financial system. We need, again, inclusion, financial inclusion, equal opportunity for everybody. The blockchain, and I've been studying a lot of assets lately, a lot of really good ones that probably you guys know that are even related to Ripple. And blockchain does not discriminate. It does not care your age, what country you're from, your race, your beliefs. It doesn't care. So when the future, when we have global identification systems, global ID, identity, anything like that, blockchain will hopefully allow a lot more inclusion. And that is the world that I'd like to live in. And yeah, I know there's bad in every type of revolution as well. I can't, turn a blind eye to that. All right. So went over that. I'm going to keep moving here. You guys get the gist. Newcomers, RippleNet, XRP specifically with on-demand liquidity, which is the software, will cut the settlement time for cross-border transactions for money from 3 days down to a mere 3 seconds. Today, you might have instant payments using Venmo, PayPal, your banks, and credit cards and all that, but ideally that's just on the front end facing you. Those are just IOUs. The banks, the providers, and the back end have to settle that money between their accounts. They're pre-funding. This is a $10 trillion problem. That money is just sitting there doing nothing. So XRP, the digital asset, is actually going to free $10 trillion right there with just one use case. And by the way, there's way more. And this is just a small example of what's to come in the future. So digital assets are the answer. You guys know me. I'm not a tribalist. I'm not a maximalist. I'm maybe a utility maximalist because I believe in the future of these digital assets. And I even posted on my new profile picture that, the banner on Twitter, some of the assets, like top 20 assets that I like. I may rotate it in and out if I change my, portfolio balance. But we have to think big picture here, people. And I'm just going to go back to the flywheel effect while I rant a little bit. We have to think big picture. Ripple, the company, essentially created the Open Payments Coalition between all of these companies. By the way, a total of 100 million users, including unstoppable domains. And they know, and they're well aware, David Shore, everybody, they're well aware that interoperability will lead to the inevitable success of this entire space and all the projects that actually truly serve a purpose. There's some that are, garbage and, fake white papers, but the assets that solve real problems are going to absolutely skyrocket. And right now, utility is not starting. So, the sky is the limit. I'm beyond excited for that. Liquidity begets liquidity, and it can keep coming. So when you're freeing 220 million people or the 1.7 billion people into the economy, you're adding their devices, Internet of Things, because they have phones, they have printers. Oh, we have smart cars now. You have a smart refrigerator in the future. What do you think happens? Oh, and now you're streaming for payments. So now you're paying for Netflix automatically by, per use instead of a flat monthly rate. So if you only watch 10 minutes of your show that month, you're paying pennies for what you used. Car insurance, you only pay high car insurance if you drive, a higher rate than most because you have a tracker in your car. These are the things happening, and this is what you have to imagine. And it's so crazy because I'm going to keep ranting and I get so much hate for it, but I tweeted this, that awkward moment when XRP, the digital asset, is criticized more than any crypto in the world. It's hated more than any crypto, yet companies like Ripple will actually be the ones going down in history as some of the biggest contributors that helped bridge this gap to the traditional infrastructure since day one. And we're going to be hitting a decade soon. Let's just say 7-8 years right now. Longest standing, one of the longest standing crypto companies from day one, and Digital Currency Group is backing them, meeting the Federal Reserve within months of their inception, thanks to their powerful network. I have full faith in this ecosystem. We just saw Anna Botín, new president of EBF. I may butcher that, it was in the previous video. And she's praised XRP and RippleNet. We had the World Bank in 2017 or 2018, I believe, 2018, excuse me, because 2017 doesn't make sense. 2018 praise XRapid, which is on-demand liquidity today. These are the things I consider when I see, FUD and all of this fear. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the macro, guys. I just like utility, and I know this asset class is going to succeed so much faster when we cooperate rather than just compete and attack one another. So some of my favorite assets are going to be on my Twitter banner as well. And also, I was on the phone on hold today with my bank for like 20-30 minutes. The gentleman was super nice, so I'm not talking badly about them, but it's so crazy to control your funds or send large transfers, and you don't have the ability to move your money because the bank's holding it. And if the holiday, if they're down on holidays and you needed customer support, you can't. With crypto, money's going to move 24/7, 365. It doesn't care. Like the stock market closes certain days of the week, crypto doesn't. That market is open 24/7. Opportunity. Stock market, the shares, the equities, eventually are going to be 24/7. Count on it. And just like we get paid bi-weekly or every month in certain countries, we're going to be paid probably once a week and eventually daily or even real time. All of this is happening, and a lot of us are aware of this trend. The only concern I have is if we're too early. All right. And with even crypto being on the, with crypto, I self-custody my funds. You can, whether it's USDC or XRP, I control my funds in my own wallet. I own the private keys. I never have to wait to control them and send them to anybody. I can do whatever I want with them, and I don't even have to speak to anybody. Much better option. That's just something I wanted to point out. Overall, guys, I'm not bullish on the US dollar long term. I think it's fading as the US dollar reserve stat, or, in terms of the reserve currency. I think it's pretty evident. We see that switch every 100 years, give or take. You can blame black swan events, but eventually something will happen. It doesn't take a genius. The question is timing the top of the market, and timing the bottom of the market is anybody's best guess. So all you can do is try to dollar cost average. And just like Zig Ziglar says, and I've been preaching this, prepare for the worst and capitalize on what's to come. All right. So when in doubt, zoom out, guys. Our time will come. It's just crazy how far we've come to be completely transparent. All right, a few more things and I'm going to keep ranting. Sorry, this is such a long video. Right here, just a quote, and of course this is all factual. So we have NFTs, non-fungible tokens. We have, Gala, all these huge projects coming up, Flow, which we talked about before. Non-fungible tokens, yes, that is possible today on the XRP ledger. The approach is slightly different from how it works on Ethereum, but definitely possible. We can issue currencies. We have a decentralized exchange. What can't we do for that matter? Payment channels, you name it. So all good and great. Cardano, for all of you fans and ADA fans, I'm just salty because I sold a big portion. I still own some as part of my long-term holdings. Love the asset. But look at this. From March 2020, we've gone up 3,000% increase. That's over a 30x your investment. So if you bought at even 3 cents, and I just went around like candle body closure over here. We know we went under 2 cents here. That's being generous. An all-time high back in the day when we were watching it in what? Was it 2018, like January? Or was it 2017, like December? I think it was January. Everything was January 2018. We were at $1.33 all-time high. I try to memorize like the top 30 crypto assets that used to be in the top 30. I used to have them memorized with the all-time high. So Cardano, overall, we know the CEO, Charles Hoskinson, he loves XRP. I love his commentary. I shared like that 2-minute upload of him chatting about it. So really like that. And then Cardano market cap has doubled, $28 billion in 2 weeks. So was this some XRP money? Was it just Tether? Or is it just true value in a lot of building in this ecosystem? Nonetheless, I support these assets. I love it. So go Cardano, go Polkadot, go XLM, go QNT, HBAR, VeChain, any asset I didn't name, guys, Algo. I just want all these assets to succeed because I believe that when we succeed, it's just going to bring more adoption. When they succeed, there's going to be better policy. There's going to be better interoperability. There's going to be so much. So please, please remember that. All right. And then last but not least, we already covered this. Oh, and then finally, guys, I really do want to cover this. So I know you guys don't owe me anything. I did post this on my Instagram, but I just want to be real with you guys. I always try to keep, business and personal life separate, and keep in mind this is relatively a freestyle right here, just being honest with you guys. So I don't know them personally, but I do have mutual friends. This gentleman, Greg Montgomery, is currently going through a few types of cancer, and this is on GoFundMe. I have donated. I'm not asking you guys to donate. If you can simply share this link, it's in the top of the video description. Not my video, just share this link. It would go a long way. Ideally, I know a lot of people watch my video on a daily basis. If each person did contribute $1, it could make all the difference in the world. He's currently fighting, going through his 2nd week of chemo, and has colon cancer, liver cancer, and I believe a few others. So this is legitimate. I've personally been affected with my father when he had leukemia, not to get personal or, sob story, because I know we all have our stuff to deal with. But I remember what it was like not being able to ask for help and not knowing where to go and being in shock. So if anybody, would like to, $1, I think we could smash that goal relatively quickly. So I greatly appreciate it. For everybody watching my channel, I would not be here without you guys. I love what I do. I take it very seriously, and I'm just excited for what's to come. Zero doubt in this ecosystem. Appreciate all that like and sub, and I will catch you in the next video.